Well, hi everyone. We are back with Mystics at the Grocery Store for your next astrological forecast for March 27th through April 9th. We are just moving through the year at warp speed. And what's really neat about these couple of weeks that Adrienne's going to dive into with us is we are moving out of eclipse season, right? We hit, some pretty big moments of reflection, review, just looking back at the things that worked. We also have moved out of Mercury or been in Mercury retrograde. So there's just lots of times of pause and review. And so now that we've had all that time to look within, we are taking moments with the cosmos in these next couple of weeks to really look in the dark in the best of ways, to not be afraid to kind of look at what's being brought up after all that time of kind of inner reflection. So Adrienne's gonna walk us through all these wonderful cosmic moments, but we're getting into kind of some of the depths of ourselves and some of the, maybe shadows, but definitely just having the courage to look within, and kind of working with that Aries fire energy too, to keep the energy moving. So let's go. Let's go, girl.
I mean, yeah, I want to paint that picture a little bit more deeply because what happens on
Please.
afterwards is, it's a lot. So, you've got the trinity of the sun going into Aries and Mercury going direct, and the beginning of the astrological year on the 20th. That's a trinity, and that create something that will be of nourishment to yourself, whether it's go out and plant something in your garden, nourishment that you can either eat or visually enjoy, or even taking like something that you've been thinking about, your dream, and bringing it into reality. you know there's so much on this day that it's telling you do it already. Saturn is in a conjunction with the sun in Aries. Do it already, like do it already. And then, Neptune is saying, let's create from our dreams. It's also in a conjunction that day. Um, they're in a
And this is on the
sextile to
20th, right?
Pluto. This is on the 20th.
Yeah. So
They're in a
lots of
sextile
stuff.
to Pluto about transformation. We're transforming. We're doing it. And that's in a trine to Uranus, which is saying this is going to be a sudden change, but it's in Taurus, so it's going to be sustainable sudden change. So
Mm-hmm.
all of that inevitably, it's going to happen. And what just kept coming to me is surrender to the flow of it. Not like, oh my God, I'm surrendered. Oh my. Just surrender to the flow of it. Because on the 30th, Venus, we all love Venus. She just tampers everything down. She makes everybody feel loved. She's going into her home in Taurus on that day, on the 30th. So 10 days later, we're in this little, I don't know how I feel about this, and maybe I should. And then Venus comes in and she goes, I got you all. I love you all. And come into my home. It's made just precisely for however you want it to be made. I'm going to attract who I want to attract in, and they're going to feel amazing while they're here. The indulgence, the life simple pleasures. Um, she's replenishing her energy here so that she can continue on and make everybody feel like, so if you can make her superpower is being replenished at this point in time on the 30th.
Mm.
Um, there's always a bit of caution, like don't overindulge. I mean, we all know what it feels like the next day after we overindulge. It's like it wasn't even, it wasn't even that great, right? So take it in moderation, stay balanced with it. Okay. Because on the 1st of April, April Fools. I really don't know why they call it that, but whatever.
There's
It's the
history
full
behind
moon, and I'm sure there is. Oh, there's an episode.
it.
Um, the full moon in Libra. So this is a good time to negotiate things. This full moon, like really, you could see everything. Let's negotiate here. Okay. It's at 12 degrees, so it's not like a maturity of a degree, but it's the maturity of the moon. It's the maturity of Libra energy. And the Libra wanting to be diplomatic, like diplomacy is really huge here. And she's getting a beautiful version, a beautiful view of it because the full moon is totally illuminated at that point in time. So where the new moon right before on the 18th was asking us, to come into connection and look at old stories, old habits, and attachments. Now the full moon is like, okay, now let's negotiate. Well, this one's not really true. Let's put this one over here. This one, maybe we need to work on a little bit more. We'll put it in this category. But she's not, there's no judgment there. It's just let's look at this diplomatically. We know this inevitable change has begun. What are we going to continue to bring with us in this inevitable change? And I love that this is the beginning of a water trine. So it's water trine. So we've got Jupiter in Cancer, and then we've got the moon, and not the moon, but the ascendant is also in a water sign, which is Scorpio. So Scorpio on your ascendant, some of us knows a little bit about that. And then it's in Pisces down at the bottom in Mercury. All those beautiful, beautiful stories. But there's a lot of emotion here. And if you can remember, there was a lot of water during that eclipse. So here we are readdressing this eclipse. And is it possible that it's in a trine? Just throwing this out there, because the triangle is very stable. And it's about forward movement, because you've got, even if you're thinking about a crystal, a terminating crystal, I believe it's called, where the energy is being directed outward. But if you can think that here we're taking that eclipse water, which we thought was just like, oh my goodness, everything was everywhere and everybody had emotions going this way, that way, and this way. But now that you've come and you've taken the opportunity to look what was causing that emotion, what was causing the stickiness for me, what was causing the stress for somebody, whatever that emotion was. And now that you've looked at it, you can see it as, okay, now that it's in my awareness, how can I use this to my advantage so that we can continue to evolve? How can I see this as a positive? And luckily enough, Mercury's coming out of retrograde, so eyes are all clean. He's wiping things up, and he can see things very well for you and during that time as well. On the 3rd, Mercury is trine Jupiter. So can you imagine Mercury jumping out of the bed of Pisces, been in retrograde, he's going forward now, still in Pisces, but now getting that boost of the benevolent Jupiter underneath him for him to expand the blueprints, expand the blueprints in a way that resonates individually with everybody. Because again, it's in Cancer. Cancer is all about nurturing, right? So let it resonate however it's going to resonate with you. But still, here are the blueprints. Now, this is the 3rd time it's come into a trine with Jupiter. It's the 3rd and final time for this series. And it's asking you, were there any unfinished conversations? Any unfinished agreements with yourself? But it's asking you to take a heart-to-heart look at these things as well. Have a heart-to-heart conversation. Now, this relationship can be with another person. It can be with whatever. But it's about alignment of. And that's why I bring in that it's about alignment with self. What kind of agreements did you have with self? Like deep, I'm not good enough. Bullshit. Whatever it is, conversations like that, heart to heart conversations, maybe not meant for anybody else's ears. Who cares? So find a spot where you can go into your comfort zone and you can go into your quiet, take some time off from the family. Hey, take a half a day just for me, sit in the water with a salt bath, whatever you want to do, but go into a state where you can have a heart to heart conversation with yourself. Now, Venus is square Pluto on this exact date as well. Like, really? And why are we like at heads at each other? Where Pluto's saying it's time to transform, and Venus is like, I know, but I need to meet everybody where they are so that they feel like this transformation is theirs and they own it. Okay, that's making a little bit of sense there. And Pluto, not trying to rush anything, but realizing that it's in Aquarius. This is a unique type of energy. This is a unique type of transformation. And then Venus is going, I know, right? So what if we make it so that it's a little bit more tasteful, a little bit more pleasant for them to swallow and not so sticky. Okay. Again, the water trine is just really speaking loudly on that day as well. And then on the 5th, the sun goes into a square with Jupiter. Jupiter is having a lot of conversations, and I'm watching Jupiter very closely because it's my year for Jupiter. And sun in Aries is impulsive, where Jupiter wants to be expansive and nurturing because it's in Cancer. The sun wants to be fiery, and the moon, or not the moon, but Cancer, who was ruled by the moon, kind of a little bit of moody, like just a little bit, because you've got that water. So you've got fire over here, you've got water over here. Is it going to overflow with overboiling and just everything just all over the place and bubbles and this spilt all over the oven? And now you got to clean the oven. And, it's just seriously. Or are you just dampening the whole flame by having too much water? So the two of them, they're in a place where they are going to come together and recognize we need to prioritize what's important to us for our next steps. So again, taking the space that you need. Hey guys, I'm going to take April 5th to just really chill and just do what I want to do. But take action in it. So I decide that maybe I want to start a new walking routine. Maybe I want to start a new whatever, but I'm going to take action for myself. So like even looking at, I don't really know how to say this nicely, but even looking at like obligations that you have that don't feel right anymore, maybe it's time to kind of go, I just don't feel right with this obligation anymore. Could you tweak it so that you could feel more comfortable, or not tweak it? Pay attention to your agenda, your sacred agenda. For me, it's taking care of my sacred body. For most of us, it's taking care of our sacred body. Pay attention to that agenda as well. Were you doing too much physically, or somebody else that's causing some kind of stress that you don't really feel in it anymore? Great. It's not part of your evolution. It's not part of your life. And then on the 8th, and I love the 5th because it's both of my brother's birthdays. So I'm really excited to see how it hits their charts. And then on the 8th, it's my sister's birthday, and Mars goes into a sextile with Uranus. So you've got the god of war in this emotional water. And then you've got Uranus in the stable Taurian kind of, we're going to have sudden disruption, but it's going to be sustainable. So I feel like Uranus is the voice on the shoulder of Aries. That's, I want to be at war. Why are I at war? Just calm down. Like it's your time will come. It's not right now. Your time will come. It's getting ready to move into Aries. So he's just saying, just rest a little bit longer. We've got everything in place. It's a sudden disruption. You may jump down on that realm and it feel a little shaky to you, but I just want you to be prepared for it when you jump into that realm. So like, it's a wonderful story of evolution that we're going through. It's going to feel a little discomfortable. So it's going to be important to know what grounds you, to know what brings you back into a space of, oh, okay, I got this. I got this. And recognizing who's rubbing you the wrong way. Who are you rubbing the wrong way? Why is it being rubbed the wrong way? What's being rubbed? All of those different things. And it's just everything I always say is a wonderful energy. It's like he totally sure always says it's a wonderful energy. It's a wonderful energy if you surrender to the flow of it and just let it be your co-pilot. Like, oh, is this the guide of where we're going? Or is this what this is all about? Kind of a thing. And that's all.
And that's it, people.
Yes.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, like it's, like, I keep harping on this alignment, but the cosmos are really giving you direction of, okay, this is the next step. And if you're not at this step, okay, but you got to get there. You've got to get there. So change is inevitable. It's going to happen. We just had the eclipses, which said the exact same thing, and they dealt with our emotions about things. So what's your emotion around this eclipse that's inevitably going to be happening? And be in a space where you are okay to look into the shadows of it. Like, why doesn't it feel okay? what's sticking to me that's, I don't need that on me.
Yeah. Because we can't improve if we're not recognizing the parts of ourselves that are holding us back and that need to be, finally let go. And it can be in a nurturing way. Like you were saying, all that lovely Venus, Cancer, watery energy. Like obviously we're needing the nourishment from that. Um, yeah. I have more I could go off of, but Melinda, anything that you wanted to speak to from all of that that was sticking out to you?
Just the water trine is seems really significant, and it makes me wonder how that might feel uncomfortable. I know we're spinning positive on stuff, but like that's a lot of water.
Right. I
And
mean, it's a lot of emotion there. And how are you,
yeah,
how are you going to work with it? How are you going to sense that? We talked about like shifts can happen and healing tears can be part of that as well.
yeah. And it makes me wonder if you have a water trine or any kind of if a certain element seems to be really dominating in the cosmos in its aspect, is it good idea to bring in like Earth? Like I don't feel a lot of Earth except for Venus and Taurus, which is huge
Well,
because
you have
she's the
Uranus
queen.
and Taurus. Uranus
Yeah,
is still in
okay.
Taurus as
So
well, and
we
he's
can
the
really
professor. Oh yeah,
okay.
he's the professor. Um, so if we look at who's Uranus is in the moon, well, we're not going to talk about the moon because she just goes all over the place visiting everybody all the time. She's like a party
She's
girl.
busy.
Um, and our South Node is also in Virgo. So,
There's some
and yeah,
balance.
yeah, there's definitely some balance. And it's interesting because Jupiter's at the bottom of the at this particular time that Venus goes into Taurus. Jupiter's at the bottom of not the bottom, but it's at the underneath the chart, and the South Node is at the very bottom of the chart, and it's like really like it's holding this kite for you to just go ahead and blossom and bloom. I mean, you look at all the different. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Look at all the things that are in the very top of that,
Mm-hmm.
and that fire and water, like it's a boiling, but these guys at the bottom are kind of
Holding it all
keeping us
down.
tethered down there. Yeah, yeah.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, I was kind of sticking on the balance of the water and fire too. And I was thinking just knowing that I feel like water has a tendency to be overwhelming sometimes. When your emotions get the best of you, it can definitely like kind of feel like you're drowning. But at the same time, when fire kind of gets out of hand in its own way, it's overwhelming in the heat of it. And just too much passion can be a negative thing sometimes. And so the importance of the balance of everything seems very, very big at this time, especially to make sure you're integrating what came up for you during the eclipse season. Like you don't want to have moved through all that energy that you just worked through and like pat yourself on the back, because those times can be tricky when we move through the eclipse seasons. So you don't want all of that to kind of be caught up in this kind of whirlwind of too much fire, too much water, and getting a bit overwhelmed. So I think, yeah, like Melinda was alluding to and kind of looking for, balancing with the earth energy is important, taking care of your physical body, moving your body, um, and really just making sure that you're taking time to think through everything that came up and still review. We have plenty of moments and supporting energies to keep reviewing. Um, but I think too, just the importance of nurturing yourself, like the nourishment of it all was really standing out to me as well. Of just that Venus loving energy, the Cancer energy, the moon energy, like just making sure that you're really being gentle and loving with yourself and everyone around you, because there's a lot shifting. It's not just you that's coming through all these energies. Like it's everyone. So maybe you might get a little, triggered by something someone says, but also recognize that we're all just kind of trying to move through the same energies as well, and kind of just trying to be loving and nourishing through all of it. And taking that beautiful lesson from Venus and how she tends to embrace and support, you know, everything around her in beautiful ways. I think that would definitely be helpful in this time too.
I
Any?
just had a vision of all of
Yeah.
these people kind of like in terms of the collective, because I was thinking about the collective, not just us as individuals. And if these energies are hitting everybody and everything, you know, it's with all that with the water trine, it's like everybody's bobbing out there in the ocean and
These little heads.
and yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
and then like the communication is like words and it's just it feels like it could become difficult. Yeah, you were treading where and then Venus maybe sends us
The
some
lifeboat.
yeah, some like a tree trunk, you know, to like we can all
Bob on. Yeah.
get on
Mhm.
there and then start to feel like we're heading somewhere grounded again.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks. Um, yeah, and I also
Okay.
like what you were saying, Adrienne, about like not fighting the change. Like the change is inevitable. So things might be shifting in you, and that's okay. That's, you know, that's life, and support yourself and help kind of use your water and fire energies to really support that way through.
I'd like to just pose a different way to look at that water trine. And, we've got the, oh, it's drowning. There's just too much water, or the purifying rain of it, the purifyingness
Mm.
of that water release, whether it's tears of healing, whether it's talking through emotions, whether it's journaling about emotions. Because communication is it's in there, like the where it's happening. The trine is between the house of communication, the house of transformation, and the house of functionality. But if you can kind of just flip it a little bit and look at it like there's a purification, this water purification is happening right now. And we know this transformation can feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's transformation. Um, but if you can imagine like a cooling kind of a rain or a cooling kind of a water element just coming over you and soothing this transformation, hydrating this transformation. Imagine like a new plant that's getting, you just replanted it in some other type of soil. Sudden change, soil, sudden change. Get that? So when you planted it in something it's not comfortable with. It was comfortable in that little pot. It might not have been able to survive in it, but it was comfortable. It knew how much it had to expand. But now you're putting it in something else, and you've got to give it that water element to help it feel comfortable, feel the ease of the shock of going into a new pot. Um, and it's soothing. It's like, okay, all right, this I feel safe here. This pot. Oh, and I can even stretch a little bit, and I'm going to be taller now because I'm able to stretch a little bit. So I could kind of just um, see it that way as well. Like obviously, whichever part of the spectrum resonates with you, but just to offer another spectrum, just for you to think about.
I
I
love
love that.
that.
Beautiful
Hmm.
image.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way to look at it as a whole of these next couple of weeks, because when you think of like a newly potted little plant, it needs the sun too. It needs the fire. It needs, the warmth of it all. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to end on, honestly. Our little pot analogy. So I hope, listener, you find just the perfect next pot. I hope.
Perfect pot for you. Container, the container, or
Yes, the
okay, we
vessel that you
we could
need, the
keep
perfect
going.
soil. I just hope you
Absolutely.
find it all. And maybe the soil is just a cozy blanket that you need to wrap up in to support yourself. But yes, some beautiful energies. Change, of course, as always. And we're stepping into Aries season. So there's a lot of energy moving. And it's that beautiful time at the beginning of spring, too, where it's like you feel the change around you. You feel the shifting of the seasons and the way that, collectively, on the earth or of the earth, things are changing. We're seeing the buds of like new growth and all the wonderful, wonderful things that happen when we move into this new season. So I hope you see that as encouragement and excitement for what's coming and not so much fear of letting go of what has come up in the past, several weeks as we've been doing so much internal review. But yeah, find your new little soil patch and get your roots down deep and just let yourself take it all in and be nourished as we move forward. But yeah, lots of exciting things coming. So
That's wonderful. Thank you, Adrienne. That was like
yes,
a great cosmic breakdown.
wonderful.
I've taken notes
You're
and
welcome.
I'm going to go back and like review them.
I know.
Yeah.
So much juiciness and all that. All right. Well, listener, we're hoping that you're doing wonderful. And we, leave in the comments if anything kind of stood out that you've been experiencing that resonates with kind of some of these shifts. Definitely let us know. We'd love to chat about it. And of course, if you need support at this time, we'll have all of our information in the description that you can find us and work with us if you have something you're really working through. And yeah, we will see you very soon. Bye.
Ciao for
Bye.
now.
Bye bye.